Hey family, a warm-hearted welcome to all of you on my channel on a new video. In the previous video, I have discussed what is war poem and how it developed. In this video, my discussion will be on Rupert Brooke, who was one of the modern poets and very much well known as a war poet and for his sonnets, war sonnets actually. And in this video, I will also enlighten the some ideas from the soldier, which was a poem by him and was published in 1915. So before starting the discussion, if you are new in my channel, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and support, and your support will help me to make more videos like this. And don't forget to turn your notification bell on to get the updates faster. So let's start our discussion. Rupert Brooke was born in 1887 and died in 1915. Was a very well-known English poet and a well-born, gifted, handsome youth whose early death in First World War contributed to his idealized image in the interwar period. His best known work in the sonnet sequence, 1914. With the outbreak of First World War, he received a commission in the Royal Navy. He died of septicemia on a hospital ship of Skyros and was buried in an olive grove on that island. Brooke's wartime sonnets, 1914, brought him immediate fame. They express an idealism in the face of death that is in strong contrast to the later poetry of trench warfare. One of the most popular sonnets, The Soldier, begins with the familiar lines, if I should die, think only this of me, that there is some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. Brooke published his first poems in 1909. His first book, Poems, which was Sedgwick and Jackson Limited, appeared in 1911. While working on his dissertation on John Webster and Elizabethan dramatists, he lived in the house that he made famous by his poem, The Old Vicarage, Grantchester. One can feel a kind of patriotic air in his works. So, I would like to mention two persons who commented on Brooke. First one was Francis Cornford, and the second person is W.B. Yeats. W.B. Yeats, as we know, was one of the most famous modern poet. So Francis Cornford used some lines for Brooke. A young Apollo, golden haired, stands dreaming on the verge of strife, magnificently unprepared for the long littleness of life. And then we'll know the comment of W.B. Yeats. W.B. Yeats also commented on him, that means on Rupert Brooke, as the most handsome young man in England. So I think it will be helpful for all of you because after knowing something about Rupert Brooke, that will help also to understand his poems or his works like The Soldier. The Soldier, sonnet by Rupert Brooke, published in 1915. In the collection 1914, it reflects British sorrow over and pride in the young men who died in First World War. Narrated in the first person by an English soldier, the poem is sentimental, patriotic, and epitaphic. In the closing sestet, the poem's speaker suggests that his soul is eternally linked with the England. The poem's familiar opening lines acquired even greater poignancy as a result of Brooke's own wartime death. The Soldier, actually, when I was reading The Soldier, it forced me to remember a poem by Thomas Gray. The poem is Elegy written in a country churchyard, because here are also some images of dead corpses or dead bodies which were buried, which are in graves on a foreign soil, on an alien soil. On that poem also, the poet Thomas Gray painted actually a scene of graveyard where the rude forefathers of the villagers were laid down, and they were waiting for the final day of judgment. And their speaker compared the dead with the life of great men. And here also some dead bodies which actually images were drawn to that scene. And actually here also the dead bodies are there on the grave, and though they are not prefigured. Okay, let's forget now. Let's concentrate. The Soldier was the last of 5 poems of Brooke's war sonnets about the start of World War I. As Brooke reached the end of his series, he turned to what happened when the soldier died. While abroad in the middle of the conflict, when the soldier was composed, the corpses of servicemen were not brought back to their homeland and buried nearby where they had died. In World War I, this vast graveyard of British soldiers in foreign fields and allows Brooke to portray these graves as representing a piece of the world that will be England forever. In the beginning, Brooke prefigured the vast members of soldiers whose bodies torn to shreds or buried and unknown. As a result of the methods of fighting that war, Brooke romanticizing the war. It is actually natural, and as because of the war, many dead bodies cannot be found whose body is there or that. So that cannot be figured out. So now religion is the central to the second half of The Soldier, expressing the idea that the soldier will awake in a heaven as a redeeming feature for his death in war. Actually, romanticizing the poem is very much natural for Rupert Brooke. Actually, Rupert Brooke was one of them, as I have said in my previous video, that was one of them who actually romanticized the war, actually glorified the war, mythified the war, and for him war is not the part of deglorification. So the poem also makes great use of patriotic language. It is not any dead soldier, but an English one, written at a time when to be English was considered by the English as the greatest thing to be. The soldier in the poem is considering his own death, but is neither horrified nor regretful. Rather, religion, patriotism, and romanticism are central to distracting him. Brooke mythified the war, recalling the history. Actually, when we have read some histories, we have read the War of Iliad, works which was described in Iliad, the Odyssey by Homer, and there also you get the images of the great wars, and there also the bravery, the patriotism were found, and they are the moments of pride. So according to him the war is also about pride. So here I'd like to stop because it is enough, I think. If you haven't seen my previous video, please go and check. I will add the link in my bio, and if you have any query regarding the idea of the soldier, please ask on my comment box. I'll try to give you reply on the next video or on the comment box. And again, I am requesting all of you, please share, like, subscribe and support. Tata, bye bye, take care.